Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
And everybody, welcome to Real Talk. We are here on the Monday Night Football edition. For those of you who may or may not be watching, we are currently dealing with a medical emergency. They last reported were performing CPR on one of the Bills players. So we will keep you guys up to date as that evolves. I did want, with the score being 7-3, to kind of get you guys' quick takes on who do you guys have winning tonight's game. We can start with you, Dev.
I took the Bengals. I know that sounds a little crazy, because with my boys behind me and all, but I took the Bengals. Number one, I betted with them by accident, so I kind of got to ride with them. And then secondly, honestly, to keep it a buck, Joe Burrow, man, he always get hot at the right time. You know what I mean? And the Bengals, they rolling. They most definitely trying to be king of the North. And I think they're going to be. And they just got that talent around them, man. They just clicking at the right point at the right time. So I'll take the Bengals tonight.
Okay. I did not see that coming as a Ravens fan. I fully expected you to not want that to happen.
I don't, but we lost last night, so it don't even matter no more. We can't even win the North.
Fair enough. They've actually cut away from the game.
Oh man, Stephon Diggs trying.
So I'm just trying to listen to the report. Adam Schefter's face does not tell me this is a good situation. I'm not sure what's going on the field. I'm not watching this live, but the vibe here is not good. I'm just going to be honest. So hopefully, whatever the situation was, he got up and then he fell back. So I don't know. I think this is going to be a big moment once the game, I believe it will restart. I don't know what team is going to respond best, because this is not this seems like it's beyond football. So for me, I'm gonna go Buffalo. I think they need it the most, but I have no idea how this sideline is gonna react, because this ain't like a regular situation where somebody gets carted off. They got an ambulance and they've cut away from the game. So
yeah,
I think this might be a little more serious.
Booger McFarland, like he ready, crying tears.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to kind of listen in as well. So I apologize for some of the delays, but we will definitely keep you up to date as more information comes out. Chris, who you got for tonight?
I also went with the Bengals. They've been on a streak. They've been playing hot. Joe Burrow's been looking like the Joe Burrow that took him to the Super Bowl. Sadly, this is an unfortunate incident that happened on the field, but I do think the Bengals are going to be able to win this game.
Okay. I will step out on the Buffalo Island, as we all have picked Buffalo to win the division, and they've locked that up. So now it's just that number one seed, which we saw how important that can be. So I think it's in Buffalo's best interest to find a way to rally the troops, but this is going to be tough.
Yeah, especially if they're trying to get Von Miller back in that first round. I don't know how close he is to coming back, but if they need that edge rusher to come back in that first round, they better try to at least clinch that first round bye.
For sure. So yeah, I haven't heard an update yet. Well, let's get into it. We got the playoffs. This is big time. We have playoffs in fantasy. We had championship rounds in fantasy, and we got people fighting to the last breath. Hopefully, most coaches know if you lose the game and people win, whether or not that means if you're eliminated or not, Ron Rivera. But the least you can do.
We need to do that about 2 more times, Dev.
We got, and y'all be joking when I be saying I'm Ray Stradamus, dog. I told y'all, Wentz ain't it, and Rivera got to go. And he stayed. And he pulled that dumb move, starting Carson Wentz. That's a career job. He should have been fired today. But our organization is so dysfunctional, and we're trying to sell the team. You don't want to have that bad debt of a coach on your books that you have to pay that ain't there. But this is a disaster. This is an abomination, and Ron Rivera needs to be fired. He might be a great coordinator. He might be a great motivational speaker. I'm glad he beat cancer, but that was a joke. That was an absolute joke, and I will say it till somebody does it. He got to go. You cannot make those kind of decisions at that point in the season and not know it could cost you the season. I get maybe not knowing the overtime rules, which is kind of crazy, but you don't know if we lose this game, we could be eliminated.
Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a mental illness?
I'm just so disappointed. And the way this season has ended.
Because the way you was letting off them shots in the group message yesterday about your boys, I was like, I looked at my wife, was like, this is the man right here who is angry at his team right now.
Hold on real quick. It looks like
5503 was on his back, and it went from wondering what was going on to wondering about.
So they're praying. The field does look clear. The ambulance is no longer on the field. I was waiting for a report. They said they were performing CPR. So I don't know. We haven't got a report one way or the other. And hope for the best.
Yeah. That's scary. That was, like I said, that was a scary situation, man. For that man to take, like I said, he made the tackle, and then he just stood straight up, and he just collapsed. And I was like, "Woo!" You know what I mean? I just thought,
because I didn't see it. I'm going to Twitter kind of while we're live because they're not showing the replay.
They shouldn't.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
They showed it like
they're not going to show.
Yeah, they showed it about 4 times. Right after the incident. So I don't think they're gonna show it no more.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I see. He got hit in the chest. It seemed like a pretty routine tackle.
Yeah, but then once he stood up,
and then he just collapses and falls back. So I don't know if they're gonna make an announcement on the status, but this is eerie.
They ain't gonna talk to us about that until the end of the game. We ain't gonna know, what's going on until either end of the game or sometime tomorrow morning.
So that's fine, but if you're a player, you don't think they should inform the team that potentially something tragic happened?
I don't think at this point in time, because if you're trying to get them back into football mode, it's bad enough they're gonna have heavy hearts. There's going to be multiple players that's going to have this on their mind, and it's going to bother them, and you just don't want to just keep bothering them even more. At least try to play this game out, because the game of football, the more you think, that's the more chances, the risk of you getting hurt. That's a game of, you got to trust your instincts. You can't overthink as far as trying to make these tackles and make these plays, because the first time you think, man, it can be tragic. I'm not saying that he wasn't thinking, or however his situation was, but you just don't want to overthink playing football. I done been there before.
And I guess that's where they talk about like closure. Like, I know you don't necessarily want closure right now, but I guess that's a delicate balance because for me, if I found out that y'all knew that happened and y'all kept that from me just so y'all could get me to play a game, I would feel away. Like, what's more important here, this game or someone's life?
And that's where the NFL is most definitely trying to crack down on. You see about the whole Tua situation.
Just quick update. The game has been temporarily suspended. The players are leaving the field. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if they're maybe waiting for a report or if they need a moment to collect themselves out of the public eye, which I completely understand.
I think they need a moment to collect themselves. I think it's time to, try to let the emotions out now because I'm pretty sure everybody is getting ready to be in tears. Dang. I wish him the best.
And just for clarity, DeMar Hamlin is the gentleman's name. So we would just continue to follow this as best we can. Obviously, this was not the expectation we had when we got on tonight, but we will deal with it accordingly. Definitely a scary moment. Prayers to everyone involved here and hoping for the best. Definitely hoping for the best. But let's try and get back to it. Not the easiest thing, but we got playoffs. There's 2 spots left, one in the AFC, one in the NFC. Shout out to the Giants who clinched a playoff spot. And actually, there's 2 left. The winner of the AFC South will get in, and then the 7 seed will also get in. So I want to start on the NFC side since there is 1 spot available. We have the Packers in the hunt, and who had an amazing performance. Kirk Cousins does what Kirk Cousins does.
Listen,
when you need him the most. Go ahead, Chris. Talk to us.
Is it my parlay segment yet? Let me just say this. Let me just say this, man. Kirk Cousins. Not only did you just destroy any chance of me having at winning the fantasy title, so now I just gotta have second place now because I went against somebody that had Mike Evans. And let me tell you, so when your quarterback doesn't show up, and with Mike Evans 2 touchdowns, you have no chance. Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, y'all ruined hundreds of thousands of parlays yesterday. Just remember that.
I understand.
Emotional damage.
I know Russell Wilson had a better game, but
best game
he's still on the hate.
2 years.
And then Jerry Jeudy and all y'all coming out and supporting him. Cool. Y'all got to play with him. I don't. But what I do I will not have to worry about drafting him ever again. Like, that's what I do know. So, Jerry Jeudy, you going to be up for a deal soon. Good luck with him at quarterback.
That's right.
Ride right into the ground. Like, what a disaster of a season. Shout out to Russ, and he'll be fine. Him and Sierra will make some more TikToks. They'll take some pictures over the summer, and he'll keep playing.
The shots be getting fired over here, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah, boy.
President.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Adam Schefter is reporting he's never seen or heard anything like this. So I don't know what exactly that means in relation to the injury status, but we would definitely keep you guys updated. I have people hitting me in my messages basically saying the same thing. Like, if they start this game without an update, that's trash. So I agree that we got to have some kind of understanding of his status before they start this game. That's just common decency to me.
Well,
And
what if they
it's
can't?
work,
What if they can't find the status of him yet? Maybe they, maybe they can't tell you what happened.
so here's what's pretty simple to me that I'm kind of concerned about. When people leave the field, they give a thumbs up. They let you know some kind of indication. If they performed CPR and then you put him in an ambulance, was he alive when you put him in an ambulance? Did he have a pulse? Like, can we get some kind of update on some kind of positive potential here? They didn't talk about his extremities moving. They ain't talked about they didn't talk about nothing. We just got reports they're doing CPR, which is not good. And based on all the players' expressions and even these commentators' expressions, somebody should be saying something. Adam Schefter get every deal, every breaking news, every story immediately. You can't tell me he ain't got somebody that's probably in that ambulance or is well aware of what happened. And I just think that's kind of petty and trash, and they ain't giving us something. But that's my 2 cents. So I guess they're kind of in a holding pattern. I don't want to speculate, but I just don't. The way they're handling this, it don't seem like the best. But again, we'll give you updates here, and we're gonna get back into what we do. So Dev, with that being said, who you got in that final NFC playoff spot? Oh, Chris, did you give us your answer?
I didn't, but I'm going with the Green Bay Packers. I'm going with the Green Bay Packers. I look at the teams that's left, and then I look at quarterback play, and I just feel like Aaron Rodgers, the way this team has been playing of lately, I think they're on a roll, and I think they are the best team that's available, and so I do think they're going to go ahead and take this last playoff spot.
So you have them. The game has been flexed to Sunday night at home. You got Rodgers over the Lions.
I do.
Okay. I don't know that I agree with you on that, but Dev, I'll let
you got to have the hot takes, Ray. You don't know me as the hot take guy, but listen, that's my hot take.
So does anybody know? Because the Giants, the Seahawks, Lions, and Packers. So if the Seahawks win, do they control their own destiny? Because they're slotted ahead.
It all depends on if Green Bay beat Detroit. If Green Bay beat Detroit, then Seattle win doesn't matter because of conference wins. Who got the best conference wins? And if Green Bay beat Detroit, Green Bay will have a better conference win than Seattle because Seattle play out the conference on Sunday.
So if Seattle wins,
they gotta hope that Green Bay lose.
And Detroit wins, Seattle's in. But if Seattle loses and Detroit wins, then Detroit's in.
Yeah. So Seattle got to win, and they got to pray that Detroit wins.
I mean, well, they'll know going into the game because Seattle plays at 4, and they get the Rams at home. So I like my chances there. They're 6.5 favorite right now. So by nighttime, that might already be decided. If somehow the Rams win, then it's winner take all. Lions Packers.
Like I said, if the Seahawks win, they gotta hope that the Packers lose. That's it. You know what I mean? Because I think the Seahawks have a better.
Then
Seahawks lose.
Death. Whoever wins, go ahead.
And then it goes up to whoever got the best conference wins. Who got the best conference record?
Oh, and I thought you said, "What's up, family?" I apologize, Tony. You said that's up to the family. I get it. They definitely should be made aware of first. Let me be clear on that. But I just feel like for the team and the fans and the audience, because of what we saw, you might lose some of that courtesy, in my opinion. But again, hope for the best. And hopefully they're not trying to notify the family because that would be really, really sad. We've never seen that in the NFL, I don't think. Only in high school and maybe college. So, all right.
Hey, you still trying to shake that cold, Ray?
Ooh.
Man, this cough is kicking my butt for a long time. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Green Bay looked good. They did. I am not a Kirk Cousins fan. I've been very clear in that. But I said it on air when it happened, and I am going to stick with it. I got Seattle. Figuring it out, winning at home against the Rams, although Baker Mayfield and those guys have been playing a little bit better. I think Pete Carroll has them ready. Pete Carroll gets it done. And call it what you want, the shock of the night. I like Detroit. Jared Goff has not gotten any attention this year. He's been pretty good for what we expected, and all the talk of Matthew Stafford was great up there, and he was the reason that took the Rams over the top. I'm not going to argue against that. But what I am going to say is, as someone who has picked up Jared Goff in fantasy for a couple weeks, he's played well with subpar talent. I don't think any of us can name the starting wide receivers there. Maybe St. Brown and who? That's the point.
Is Chalk still up there?
I mean, like, my point is, we don't know. Off the top of our head. So I think that coach has done a good job. And I liked the coach. I thought his initial press conference was a little quirky, a little weird, but I like the energy, and I like the way the team has responded. And I'm gonna go Seattle. I'm gonna go Seattle in an unfortunate situation. I think the Lions will beat the Packers, but they're already gonna know. And once they know they can't get in, they're about to turn it up to try and get Green Bay not to get in. So that's my 2 cents. Dev, you said Packers, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Packers. I was going back and forth between them and the Lions. Because I just feel like the Lions finally hit that curve, like to say, "Hey, we here, let us in." But then, it just the Packers just catch fire. They just caught fire at the perfect time, man.
They are playing well. I cannot argue against that at all. All that lack of talent Aaron Rodgers used to have this season when they was talking about it, magically he got talent now that he's playing better. So
I never said he had lack of talent. I would just say that
he doesn't
lack of talent in the wide receiver room, yeah.
Yes.
But surrounded, he still had
Watson
talent.
looking like a ball player this year.
But he's looking like a ball player. But is anybody a Gervante Adams or in that realm? That was my only thing. They didn't have exactly, but that was my only thing. I thought they were talented. My only thing was, to me, they don't have a true number one. But other than that, I still thought they were a very good ball club.
I thought they had a really good running game, a solid defense, and decent receivers. And Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. I know I get on him, but he is still Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he's what a lot of people think he was. They put up 41 points. He threw for 159 yards and a touchdown. So it ain't like he was going nuts.
He threw up numbers, but he managed the game right.
And let me be very clear. I'm going to take a quick aside. Y'all know I'm a Tom Brady guy. But he could not have picked a worst week to finally have a great game. Like, I just happened to run into Tom Brady in the championship, and he goes nuts. Like, it's just kind of wild. There's a banner at the stadium saying, "Please stand by for further information." So we are doing the same. When we get the information, we'll obviously get it to you guys. We are tracking it to see what happens. The field is still currently clear. And we're just waiting on any updates. And let me tell you this: if Seattle loses, I will become Detroit's #1 fan.
Oh,
let me be very clear.
Talking about the bandwagon hopping, boy.
I will be blue and silver out. Not the Cowboys blue and silver, the Lions blue and silver. I just feel like that would be great for that city. That'd be great for that team who's been so bad for so long. I hope for the best. And for Jared Goff. I'm not a huge Jared Goff fan, but I just would like his story to be rewritten a little different after kind of his unceremonious exit from LA.
I can definitely agree with that.
So the
Yeah,
AFC we got.
I was harsh on golf before.
We know.
I thought
We
him
was
and
here.
Sam Donald was the worst quarterback in the NFL.
Sam
Yeah, the
Darnold was
worst quarterback.
Sam Donald still down there.
The worst
Sam
quarterback
Donald,
in the
he's still
NFL
trash.
is just a rotational door for the Jets. They just keep rotating bad quarterback to bad quarterback to bad quarterback.
And man, if they could just get a quarterback, they would
he gonna
be
get Derek Carr next year.
same.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I would
He
not
gonna
be
get
mad at
Derek.
that.
I would not be surprised if them or Indianapolis go all in and get Derek Carr next year.
I mean, Indianapolis has kind of done that old quarter. We talked about that last episode. They did that old quarterback thing a couple times.
And, I mean, they
I
tried.
don't
They
know
tried
if
to
you
go
want-
young with Wentz, and then that didn't work. They went right back to old. I think they just need to stick with young. No, I'm not saying Wentz was
Are
the guy.
you delusional?
I'm not saying Wentz was the guy.
Do you
was in that
suffer
retread
from a
category.
mental illness?
I was saying he was on a younger side compared to Phillip and Matt Ryan. That was my only point.
I'll give you that. But
Yeah,
Derek
I
Carr,
wasn't trying to talk about football ability.
yeah. If Carson Wentz has a job next year, whoever signs him needs to be fired.
He'll have a job. He'll have a job. Don't worry.
And
Who
that
gonna have a
GM
job between him or
Carson
Baker
Wentz.
Mayfield?
Carson Wentz.
who's what?
Oh, Baker.
Who's gonna have a job first? Baker or
I
Carr?
think Baker's gonna be back in LA. I think he got something there. They can bring Cooper Kupp back. They don't got to rush Matt Stafford back. They got a quarterback, a solid backup.
They got a solid. He knows how to hand the ball off.
Yeah.
Say what you want. Cam Akers look like a different running back all of a sudden. I'm not saying that's Baker's fault, but he's looked like a different running back these last couple weeks. So
You think they're gonna keep Cam after this year though?
I think the price is going up. I think they could have got him for dirt cheap, or they might have let him walk. But now he looking like he might be a number one back. So I think it's hard to let him go, and I think he can get some decent money out there. And y'all don't have another, they don't got another running back on the
I
roster.
say, man, I'm not Freddie. I'm jumping team to team, man. I ain't Freddie.
Speaking of Freddie, we out here posting about the Giants. Like, no,
What?
you quit the Giants. Don't be posting about the Giants because your Rams up.
Where that? He was a Packers fan.
He don't know what he wants. He
Exactly.
he wants.
Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a mental illness?
He
I
don't know.
think so, Def.
Yeah, he a little different. Shout out to him. Hope he had a great New Year and everything else. But stop. Be consistent. When your team is trash, maybe you're the curse. Leave these teams alone. Hey, as soon as he left the Giants, what they do?
Listen.
Playoffs.
Listen.
That's all I'm saying. Go ahead, talk to him, Chris.
Just know whenever we go to basketball, I have some updates for the people, man. These basketball games today, the numbers they putting up, man. You think everybody will be playing 2K? I see why. I see why all the 90s guys and 80s guys be mad. The numbers they putting up and the money they getting, man, because it don't seem like real life when you look at some of these box scores. I'll tell you.
You know, we can go there. It's our show. We can do whatever we want. You want? Did y'all saw the box score? Kenny's not here, but ladies and gentlemen,
Let's talk
Kenny,
about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I proposed a bet in our group.
Yes, you
Yeah.
did.
I went to DraftKings and they said DeAndre Ayton over 18.5 points.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm petty and because I keep receipts, I'm going to read you the response that Kenny gave me when I said that. I got to scroll back a little bit. Kenny said easy. Actually, I'll let y'all read it. Easy over. He's averaging 18.7. Now I asked Kenny, show us the ticket.
This was in the group chat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Show what I said, Ray. Show what I said, Ray. Show the people what I said, Ray.
All this.
Chris was
Not
very
after the
clear.
last
Not
time.
after
I will
the
not
last
touch
time.
his points.
Boom.
Hold up. I did not miss all this act.
Ray Stradamus be trying to help the people.
I'm 3 for 3 tonight.
I be trying to help the people. I don't just be talking just to talk. I know what I be talking about. And let me give you. Let me give you the new hot take because y'all tried to stump it out over the summer or whenever we last talked about it. Miles Turner is a better value than DeAndre Ayton.
Ooh.
Period. Y'all tried to act like they were such different players. Check the numbers, check the impact. Miles Turner is a much better value.
Only thing about Miles Turner is health. That man has not. I don't recall him playing over 70 games.
That's true, and I agree with you.
In the last couple of years.
Hey, let me give you a news flash. DeAndre Ayton put up 5 points the other night. He ain't play either.
He put up 12 points. Listen, I said I wouldn't touch his points. In a blowout, 102 to 83 victory, he had 12 points, 6 for 13,
and 5 boards.
And
that's a max player. That's the max player y'all keep giving me heck about. Leave me alone and let me be right. He's not that kind of guy. That's all I be saying. He's not. Chris Paul don't believe in him. Monty don't believe in him. Devin Booker don't believe in him. His team don't believe in him. They don't give him the ball. Because when they need him, y'all kept telling me he's a number 2. He's a number 2. Have you seen what Phoenix look like when Devin Booker's off the court? That team looks terrible. They don't look like a playoff team. If you're number 2, no. He's a number 1. Ayton is supposed to be the number 2. So when your number 1 goes down, you're supposed to step up and do a little bit. Jordan Poole, you're making me more of a believer. Now, it's still the regular season, but they're figuring it out without Steph. Why ain't Phoenix? It's a better collection of talent. They're war tested. They've been around. It's a bunch of veterans. You still got Jay Crowder sitting at home. So I don't want to hear it.
He ain't coming back. See, and that's what kind of gives me a little ammunition for the beef about this whole Monty Williams. If Jay Crowder doesn't want to step foot on the court, that means it can't be all Aiden.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? It's not all Aiden. It's the system also. The system is not allowing Ayton to be a number 2. Now, like I said, I'm not saying that he is the fully number 2, but I do believe Ayton can be a top 15 big man in the league if the big man's even stretch out that far. But it's hard to even figure out who's the big man in this league anymore because now
y'all make it complicated, just like y'all can't figure out what a point guard is.
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing when you cuss it, they y'all. I didn't say anything. That was the beef between you and Kenny.
Refrain from the y'all.
It was going back and forth. That was y'all two. So y'all are the ones that can't define who the true point guard is. And
I know what a true point guard is. It's these old dinosaurs out here that still believe Tyrannosaurus Rexes is walking around saying there ain't no more reptiles because the dinosaurs died. Like, what are we talking about?
Now I'll say this for Ian though, because I was in this conversation, and I'll stick to this. And Dev hit on a good point. If Jay Crowder, the glue guy of glue guys, isn't willing to step foot back in the building, then it must be a problem because he was the guy that goes in and fit in any system. But this is also what I allude to. I never had faith in the Suns going into this year. I barely picked them to make the playoffs. So this collapse that I'm seeing,
just so I'm clear, I'm documenting. I have them missing the playoffs this year.
Yeah. Just so I don't know if I went that far, but I did say that I wouldn't be surprised if I did go that far. Because what I saw with that whole debacle against the Mavs and the whole thing on the sideline, I felt like that was just the beginning of the problem. Then them not wanting to sign Ayton right away, that was another just little bit of the problem. But when a guy like Jay Crowder doesn't want to come back, when a team cannot win a game without their number 1 guy, when Chris Paul is still getting paid this much money, asked to do so much, and the guys aren't developing how like they should.
Said that 2 years ago. They never should have gave him that extension.
Listen, man, I wouldn't be surprised if they trade away DeAndre Ayton this year.
They should have. They shouldn't have. They shouldn't have matched the pace up.
They break their whole team up because I think the Suns missed their window. I think they missed it.
I agree with you.
They missed it 2 years ago. And now it's almost about time to blow that team up. Because we already know that they're not going to get rid of Devin Booker. Devin Booker is their star, and you're going to have to you're gonna have to give away a lot to get that.
Chris Paul is Russell Westbrook last year. You can't trade that contract with what he's giving you.
No.
Who's taking that?
Far as
that
the contract
age,
was, yeah. You know what I mean? Nobody gonna
he
take
gave
him,
you
but
11-4 tonight. He's averaging 13-9. Who's trading for that at $45 million a year? And I think he has another year after this.
That's why I say it goes to me. I think the Suns system doesn't work anymore. We seen
the whole system. They never had a system to me. The whole thing was bad. The whole thing was bad.
I just think they tried to.
How are you saying the whole thing was bad? They was in the finals 2 years ago, and they
was
in the playoffs last year.
I might
like,
let me reframe and let me rephrase what I was saying. Let me rephrase what I was saying. Their system and how they played, I didn't believe it would last a long term. If that sounds better, I didn't think they would be one of the teams that would be consistent for years to come because you got an older Chris Paul, you got a Devin Booker who can give you 50, but I wasn't seeing everybody else get involved on their own. They had to get plays made for them. They didn't have guys that can go get theirs. And to me, I was never a believer in that. I look at the Nuggets, and they have multiple guys that can go get theirs. So that shows me they're going to be a team that's going to be in the hunt for years to come, if that makes more sense.
That's fine. Real quick, I'm sorry. I wanted to clarify something. His average salary is $30 million a year. It's 4 years, 120, but it's not fully guaranteed. In 2024-25 is non-guaranteed, but his contract is for 2 more years after this. But they can technically get out next year. Only 15.8 of the 30.8 is guaranteed. So they got a decision to make by June 28th on what they want to do before they got to start fully guaranteeing that $30 million next year, and he'll be 38.
I think he moves on. I think Phoenix moves on. I honestly think it's time to blow it up. I like Monty Williams. I think he's a great head coach. But
he maximized their talent to me. I think they've been overperforming.
Yeah, because
I think we're seeing that.
I just think that they lost a lot of good key pieces. When they lost the JaVale, JaVale McGee.
I'm a JaVale fan.
McGee. Now that Jay Crowder not playing,
you're losing your glue, your core, your team.
Now you just trying to plug people in just to trying to save yourself. And I think that if you don't have the right core players, that's what Phoenix messed up in. Is they don't have the right core players, like how Golden State have the right core players. They might have lost good key pieces, Gary Payton, Jr. and what's the dude? Man, I can't think of his name right now. But they lost.
They replaced them,
right?
But we can't. We gotta be honest. Kuminga ain't exactly lit it up this year consistently.
He has it, Kuminga or Moody, but you got a guy. Guy in Jordan Poole.
But Kuminga is not the guy. But Kuminga is not the guy to be your scorer. Kuminga is your Iguodala, in my opinion.
But if you're Phoenix, what are you supposed to do? You let Bridges walk? He was a defensive player of the year candidate.
He was. You don't let him walk. You pay him, but he needs.
And they did pay him.
No,
they paid.
Well, he needs to get better. He needs to get better.
Now
what I mean by that is
we can agree with it. I think we said that last episode. He has to start giving you more on offense, like Kawhi Leonard. Leonard became an offensive force, and he transitioned from just defense. Paul George is the same thing. You do need that kind of jump from him. If
it doesn't even have to be that type of jump to all, because those guys, I don't want to say that type of jump because those guys are your superstars. So maybe he doesn't take that huge jump so far, but he needs to take a jump where he can be a consistent minimum 15 a night type of guy, where he can create his own shot from the 3-point.
If he's the number 2 scorer, he got to be around 20, 23.
You're saying he's the true number 2?
To me, it's proven Ayton is not going to be the number 2 scorer.
I think he has the ability to get you 15 to 20.
If Ayton is not the number 2, Ayton should be, to me, Ayton is about where he should be. That 17-8, I think that's about his potential.
Real quick,
I think you need another. If Booker's giving you 30 plus, You need somebody averaging 20, low to mid 20s.
And Aiden right now is giving you 18, but I just want to talk about this real quick because I know I said this. The Bulls and the Cavaliers are going into overtime. Donovan Mitchell right now has 58 points, 11 assists, and 7 rebounds.
It's nuts. It's like it's the NBA bubble all over again.
You got 42 from DeMar DeRozan right now, who also hit 2 threes. I just want to put that out there. LeBron gave you 40 tonight, and B gave you 40 tonight. And the last NBA update, because I do want to finish talking about the Suns real quick. The Mavericks were down 20 plus to the Rockets, and now they're down 9. Luka has 24 with no threes made. You got 19 from Hardaway, 17 from Wood. There's some good basketball getting played tonight. But to go back, because I just want to get that quick update, to go back to the Suns, Mikal Bridges can be that guy that can match Aiden with 18 and 18. That's 36 from your second and third best guy, but he has to be able to score on his own as far as putting the basketball on the ground, and I've not seen that consistent from him, which hurts because he's a Villanova guy, and I think he has the ability to do that.
Man,
so I don't know what
guy in the corner. They put that guy in the corner and be like, look, you stand here.
But he can do more than that. Sadly, he can do more than that.
I was watching the game earlier. He made a move. It was a nice move. He got to the basket, and somebody threw his shot out of bounds.
Because he's not used to finishing amongst the trees. He's a guy that, to Dev's point, was just a guy that was supposed to be in the corner for a while.
But if you're going to take that step, and they paid him, and I get on Ayton, they paid Bridges too. They paid you to be that guy. So I don't blame Monty Williams or management because the potential and the trajectory said pay those guys. And they did. And they paid Chris Paul. Sometimes you just make bad investments. Chris Paul, I think, was a mistake. I definitely can't be mad at Bridges. They extended campaign. They didn't overpay for him. They locked up Booker. Like, I feel like they did about as best they could. They could draft better, maybe, if they had more young talent, because their bench is weak.
Is Phoenix a small market team? Is Phoenix considered a small market team?
I think so.
I would still say, yeah, small to medium, maybe.
Yeah, small, medium. They're not the smallest, like Phoenix, OKC, but they're not a large market
area. But it's not. I wouldn't say it's as big as Dallas or Houston. Obviously, not LA or New York or Miami.
Right.
So I think it's in that.
Well, I think you're in the same category as Dallas, as the Mavericks at least.
Dallas Fort Worth is popping, Bree.
No, I'm talking about the Mavericks and Suns. You think the Suns are still
about market? He said they're a small market. Dallas is not a small market.
Yeah, Dallas not at all. Mark Cuban made sure that they wasn't a small market no more years ago.
Mark Cuban and Jerry Jones.
Do we still think the Spurs are a small market? They're still a small market?
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
for sure.
They can't even get nothing down.
Yeah, Orlando,
Detroit,
San Antonio. Detroit.
Where's Houston at? And y'all think Houston's a small
Houston's
market?
big. Houston's popping.
It's popping. I just want to hear, because they were a small market team.
They were.
Yeah, once upon a time.
James Harden and strip clubs changed that.
Yeah,
he did. But look, Dev, not to change topics, but we on the same topic, man. I should have sent you these parlays. It's looking good right now, my boy.
We celebrate wins here, so run it up.
Right now, the last game I got on my parlay is the Bengals right now. And now they temporarily suspend that, so I don't know how that's going to play out.
It's still, y'all have any updates on what's going on? Is it still, are they pushing that back?
Nah, it's just
still on delay.
They still
update one way or another.
Yeah, I ain't do no basketball parlays this week.
I kind of quit on the parlays, dog, because that drove me frustrating. I'll try and find one or two good joints, but the parlays,
one thing I will say about the parlays and maybe in sports in general, you're going to see, I feel like, more fans, true fans, because you're getting to watch more of these teams. Like it's not a lot of people I know that would be invested in a Pacers or a Raptors game. And that was a very good game where the Pacers ended up winning because Fred VanVleet wanted to go 3 for 12 from the 3-point line.
Shout out to Tyrese Halliburton getting buckets.
Oh,
shout out to the Kings. The Kings are still doing well. I thought they was kind of crazy to trade him.
I thought that was a wild trade. I'm glad to see it work out on both sides. But I almost ripped the Kings off after that trade because that My
The
brain was
The
hurting
Kings
so
needed
bad.
Sabonis. The Kings really needed
Hey.
Sabonis. You know what I mean? So
Still standing here is the guy that picked the Kings to make the playoffs this year. So I believe in them. I think they'll figure it out. And they started slow, but they right there. The Kings, the 19-16 in the 6th seed. Indiana at 21-17 in the 6th seed. So I think it's hard to argue it hasn't worked for both teams.
my surprise team is in the playoffs right now. The New Orleans Pelicans.
New
I
Orleans.
just took a loss to my Sixers. But speaking of playoffs, let's talk about these Wizards real quick, right?
Uh-oh.
10 spots. 10 spots.
Uh-oh.
Let's
Hey,
talk about
what
your
happened?
guy couldn't give me 15 points though. But we're not gonna
Hey,
talk about
listen. Winnie Harlow was at the game last night. I told y'all that stuff matters. I'm trying to tell y'all, these are human beings. These are young men. If your girl ain't happy, you might get on social media, the internet, start popping off crazy. We see it happen all the time when you got these celebrity chicks. And
It looked like they on the phone. Looked like
But-
Coach Leslie on the phone with maybe the injury player trying to get an update. That's what it looked like.
But
Not the coach.
what's the update?
It looked like the coaches is talking. They on the phone
yeah.
talking with somebody. Could be the league or maybe the hospital. But it looked like they trying to get some information, some update.
Yeah. And yeah, Wizards, we beat the Bucks. You know what I'm saying? Beat the
No
Bucks.
Giannis though.
No Giannis.
No Drew Holiday.
Whoa.
No Drew Holiday.
Chris Middleton.
No Chris Middleton.
But Ray, I was gonna give you a compliment. A W is a W, my friend.
Because on 12-27, we beat the Sixers too. And then we followed that up. Actually, let me tell you, because we beat the Suns twice. We beat them on the 20th. We beat them on the 28th. We beat the 76ers. And we beat the Kings.
So y'all
and
on
then
the
we just
streak
beat
is
the
what
Bucks.
you saying.
I'm saying now that I think Kyle Kuzma's got his head back together and out of his butthole, and we're healthy again, we look like a better team, which is what I said. Now, if he go back on that BS talking about how much you want to get paid and what market you want to play in, you can't have your leaders distracted like that.
Look, Ray, I want to give
yeah.
your team a compliment. I like the Bradley, Bill, Kuzma, and Porzingis 3. I like that 3. How y'all build around that? We're not going to just throw out wild scenarios. I would love to see a squad built around that. I like that 3 that you have. I want to give y'all a compliment. Do I think y'all win anything in the playoffs? Heck no. But those 3 guys right there, if you get the right pieces around them,
I don't think
it's
if
a good
Washington
team.
can get a bench, I think Washington can make some noise. But right now they
And
got
Porzingis' health is the key.
that too.
Porzingis' health
And Bill.
Health is going to be the biggest thing for us, but we need a point guard, like a real point guard. I know we have these conversations all the time.
Real point guard. I'm glad you brought it up. You need a playmaker.
But we need
not a playmaker.
Yeah.
They just need somebody that can control the game.
Control the pace of the game.
Yeah, because Bill, don't get me wrong, Bill can do it, but taking him out of his game.
They all are good, better with the basketball in their hand, but there are sometimes you need somebody to help you get easy shots.
Yeah.
And we don't really have that at the point guard position. Morris is a solid scoring guard, but he ain't really gonna get everybody
the whole team up. Game over. They packing the team up.
Oh wow.
They temporarily. I saw him packing the Bills stuff up.
Do we get I'm not even gonna ask that question, but real quick.
They will void the bet, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I'm not even worried about that. It was something totally not regards to this, but I just want a quick NBA update. At some point in the third quarter, the Mavericks were down 49-67. It is now 83-87 going into the fourth. The Mavs are now down 4.
Who they playing again?
The Rockets.
Rockets is trash though.
The Rockets. That's who the Rockets are so far. They are a first half team, and then after the halftime, boy, they just can't get right.
Luka has 29. Christian Wood was 17. Dinwiddie's just nowhere to be found. That's a guy who's disappointed me. I think I don't know if we talked about it here on this show about Dinwiddie, and I think it might have been you, Ray, where they expected more. I don't know what's going on with Dinwiddie, but he's not the guy I thought he was going to be to take some of this workload off Luka's back. But so the game's officially postponed.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Adam Schefter is reporting they've been on the phone with the league office, and it looks like they are going to. I don't know if they're canceling it, if they're rescheduling it. I don't know what the official
I mean, could you
determination
cancel a
will
game?
be.
Has that been done? Like a game been really canceled?
Mhm.
I don't think because isn't this game like somewhat important
No, it's
for
huge.
both teams?
It's
Yeah,
huge.
it's huge because but they all fight for number 1 seed.
Exactly.
So they probably gonna reschedule it.
Oh my goodness, Mitchell might drop 70. Mitchell might drop 70.
I ain't getting hyped over Mitchell. He hurt my feelings 2 weeks ago.
I feel you. But 66 points. Look, as much hype as Luka got,
he couldn't get 20 points that one.
no, I agree with you. I agree with you. But as
hurt
much
my
hype as
feelings.
Luka just got for that 50-point triple double, the 60-point triple double, this man has
66 and 11 is
66 points,
crazy.
11 and 8 rebounds. Even if he doesn't get 70, if he just ends up with 66, I better see him plastered on ESPN like I saw Luka.
He not.
He's not, but I better see it anyway.
He's not. I hate to say it. Donovan Mitchell. I'm not a Donovan Mitchell fan. I don't think he's that guy.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah,
I just think he's a strong. He's a strong number 2 in my opinion.
Agreed.
I don't think he's that ace in the hole. I don't think that if Garland go down, I don't think Mitchell can save the cat. You know, what I mean, I hope Garland don't go down or anything in that nature. But I
got a
just
question
don't
for you
see-
then, Def. I have a real question for you. Is he so? If he's not a number 1, do you think he's like an AD, right? Because AD, talent wise, you would say is the number 1, but couldn't get over the hump until he got with a true number 1. I look at Donovan Mitchell, his talent. You can't tell me that's not some of the best talent in the league. But you think he needs a guy above him for him as far as winning to be successful?
Or he needs a guy that can
match his talent,
like
you
know
Kawhi and Paul George when healthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere in that nature, you know what I mean? Because, like I said, if you put Donovan Mitchell on the team by himself, like he was in Utah, he couldn't do it. You know what I mean? He was dropping good numbers.
About to go for 70 though.
But when you put him in the playoffs and go against the Warriors and stuff in Memphis and teams like that, and even Phoenix, he couldn't get the job done.
He about to go for 70 though. 70.
Hey, you know what
I mean, Booker went for 70. We've seen it.
Booker went from 70 and lost. He led his team back. They were down 20 at one point. I was watching the game.
But hold on. So when Booker dropped 70, when did Booker drop that 70? That was a couple years ago, right?
I had to be like 2018, maybe.
So and then that's before the Chris Paul.
Way before Chris Paul.
That's before. So
that's when they were still a losing team.
So now that he's on Cleveland, which finished in what, the 5th seed last year, 6th seed, somewhere up in that range.
Who, Cleveland?
Yeah.
No. Let me go back and look. I don't think they didn't finish that high last year.
I think they was like 6th or 7th seed.
Cleveland.
I think so. They was in the playoffs.
They was in the because I think they skipped
last year. They finished at yeah, I'm not tripping. Last year they didn't even make the playoffs.
Cleveland didn't.
Cleveland did not make the playoffs
After
last
they
year.
got Jared Allen.
They were in a playing tournament.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Okay,
but I'm not counting that as the playoffs.
No. I knew they got deep.
They were a team that was on that were knocking on that door.
But they had a lot of injuries last year, also too.
They did because Sexton was out all year.
70. I'm
Sexton
sorry for
was
the
out.
hypeness, but a 70-point game, man. That's
Nah,
like
you know what I mean. Big shout out to Mitchell, man. Like I said, he belongs in the NBA. Just not a number
where
one.
do you rank him among shooting guards?
Woo! I don't think I got Mitchell in my top 5.
Okay, look. I don't even have an answer to that, but I was curious.
Let me think.
I
So
we all feel the same way about Donovan Mitchell.
I take Booker. I take Jimmy buckets. I take
Jimmy Butler today.
I take Jimmy.
He dropped 70, y'all. He dropped 70. 70 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists. It's official.
I mean, he was chasing 70, but we're gonna give him the credit.
Was he really? He listen to this.
I'm watching the game.
22 for 34. 7 for 15 from the 3-point line, 20 for 15 from the free throw. Was he
I'm
chasing
simply
70?
saying down the stretch, they force fed him the ball.
I mean,
and he
Karis
got the
LeVert
free
was
throw.
building a brick house all game. I had Karis LeVert for 20. He was building a brick house all game.
I don't bet that. I give LeVert.
Oh no, I didn't
15.
bet it. I didn't bet it. I bet him for 10. Come on now, bet him
I
for 10.
would say I
But
give him
saying,
15. I don't know about that 20.
I didn't
He's
see
too
Karis
streaky for
LeVert
me.
going stretches. But big shout out to Donovan Mitchell for 70 points. I mean that by far is going to be the best game all season. To me, that top was Luka's triple double.
Whoa.
You heard? Listen, you can write it down. January 2nd, 2023. Chris Brown said this would be the best game we see all season. To me, this is better than Luka's 60-point triple double. I'm going to stand on it. What you mean how? Not only did he force his team back to be in contention to winning the game, he forced it to overtime, where then he dropped 71, 8, and 11.
Okay.
Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a mental illness?
I don't know that I'll go there, but you do know Luka has been dropping 50s also on top of the 60s.
Yes, by far. But listen, what? Luka had 10 points at halftime, and now he has 30.
Game performance. I don't know. I just
Listen.
We seeing fireworks
maybe
right now.
Maybe I'm off the hype right now.
You a little in 70s crazy. I feel like we kind of downplaying it, and I don't want to be that person. 70s nuts.
That's what it might be. I think y'all not.
I'm not. We're not down. I'm not down.
But I'm seeing LeBron go get 40 regular. I'm seeing Luka getting 50. I'm seeing a lot of people put up crazy numbers. It's not. I could see somebody else on a given night
70 and 11.
I can see Luka doing it.
Crazy.
Okay. Listen.
I see Luka doing it.
Will someone else score 70 this year? I would take that bet to say no. But
I'm not mad at you.
Overall performance, like this, the Bulls suck. They're not. I don't even think they're in the play-in. Like if this was a premier team on a premier night on a premier moment, that will matter if somebody goes and gets 65, 11, and 11.
So the Knicks are just that much better than the Bulls. Where's Kenny at? He did that against the Knicks, right?
Who?
Or Luka? Was that the Spurs?
That was the Knicks.
Okay.
Doesn't it? Remember the epic collapse? Do you remember that collapse that
100%. But look, that's my thing.
When you talk about moment,
Boom had the collapse too. And you know how he did the missed free throw to get it back? Donovan did the same thing. Come on now. Give my boy D Mitchell some credit.
So
Just give him a 70-point credit.
The Knicks are better. We just saw that. We saw what they just did to Ayton. Bottled him up and put him in the ocean. And put him out to sea. So I think that matters too. Competition matters.
Okay.
But let's revisit this in like a week, maybe by All-Star, and I can have a lot more because right now it is the moment, and this is nuts. I don't want nobody to think I'm not like 70s crazy. And this is why Donovan Mitchell is so frustrated. Because you can bet him to get 20.
We're going here. I'm glad we're going here.
15, and there's other games. This 70 is nuts, but I remember I saw him in a bubble going against Jamal Murray.
Putting up 50-point games in the playoffs.
I've seen what he's capable of, but I've seen some of these 10, 12, 11, 1 for 13 nights that he has too. And they're not once every 3 months. They happen maybe once every 2 weeks sometimes. So that's the frustration with him. You see the phenomenal talent, the playmaking ability, but then there's other games you're like, well, where did it go? And that to me is what makes a superstar. A superstar is this. You might have a bump up, but the floor, the Luka floor is amazing. And I don't think that he's that. The KD
I'm watching the Luka floor right now. The Luka floor is having 0 for 7 from the 3-point line and still giving you 31.
And that's another night at the office. And he's going to give you rebounds and assists every night.
Listen,
I mean, he's playing bully ball.
He's at 31, 8, and 5. On the year, he's averaging 34, 9, and 9.
Let me ask you this about Luka,
leading
right?
the league in scoring with
when you're done
8.7 and 8.9. Go ahead, Chris.
So while we're just talking about some things right now, do y'all feel like Luka is the best point guard in the league, or do you still have to give it to Steph Curry? And listen, Ray, I will not be mad. I will not be mad if you say Steph. I won't. I just really want to hear your thoughts on this.
What was the question?
Do you consider
the
Luka
best
the
point
best
guard in
point
the
guard in
NBA?
the game, or do you think it has to respectfully be Steph Curry?
Here's what I would say.
Wait, Ray.
Here's what I'm gonna say. You know, I'm honest.
Look, Ray. Before you go,
If-
let me. Before you go, I just want to say I'm asking this because I remember LeBron was still considered the best, but you had guys like Giannis and KD putting up some numbers and getting this quick flash. So I just want to hear your thoughts on what Luka's doing, but you still gotta like Steph Curry that's in the league.
So here's what I'll say. If Golden State, when Curry went out, I think they were 15-15, they were 500. If they were, let's use 15-15, I'm just making that up. Say they were now 16-22 or whatever, I would have a hard case to make that Steph is still the best. But they're 19-18. And the same time frame, we was having some conversations about Dallas. I think it was Kenny. Somebody was shooting at, they're not even in the playoffs. They're not even in the play-in at that time. And they're now in the 4 seed. I can't argue against that. Like, he's leading the league in scoring. He's giving you 8-8, really 9-9. The team around him is Christian Wood's been a great trade. But outside of that, you ain't really writing home about nobody else. Dinwiddie's cool.
Dallas wasn't even putting them in there first.
Like, Dinwiddie's cool. Like, but there is Luka. I do not believe that if at 21-16, if Luka missed the next 2 weeks, that team is not competing in the playoffs. And so for that reason, right now, I got to say, hey, he's the best. Right now. Now, all time, y'all already know where I stand. But right now, today, if I had to pick one for a team, especially with him being younger, I'm taking Luka. Dev, who you got?
Oof.
And it's convenient that the number 2 team got a point guard that's pretty dynamic, and we ain't even talking about him.
Number 2 team in the what? Oh, in the West.
He getting it done, and Bane ain't been great. He ain't had a lot of help either.
I feel like Steph is still. I feel like I still would take Steph. I like Luka. Don't get me wrong. I like Shorty game. It took me a while to like him because at first I wasn't sold on him. I was like, nah, he's just an average player. You know, people hyping him up, but then he just kept proving me wrong. And Lucas just kept getting better and better and better. But I'm gonna go ahead and bite the bullet. I'm gonna take Steph. Because Steph can play on the ball, off the ball. It seems like I like Steph leadership also to lead a team. Not saying that Luka is a bad leader because he grabbed Dallas from the back and he's carrying Dallas. But I like Steph leadership. I like how doesn't matter who comes on that team, everybody likes Steph. You know what I mean? KD came on and said, "Yeah, I bang with him." And it's not too many people who don't want to play with Steph. So you know, and when you have a point guard that everybody wants to play with, you know what I mean, you still hold that title right now. But I feel what Ray's saying for this year, Luka most definitely will probably get a lot of people picks just because of health reasons. Number 1, age. Number 2. And then, but you just got to go with the guy who knows about winning. You know what I mean? And Steph, I think he only had 3 bad years in the league, and 2 of them was early in his career, and 1 was when he went through that injury bug. He pretty much set out the whole year with the wrist. I'm a ride with Steph. No more bad. I'm ride with Steph.
Okay, Chris, who you got?
This is tricky, right? Because I look at what Luka's doing, and these are some crazy numbers, crazy play, and It's just one thing. I just need to see him. I can't. It's hard with Luka, right? It's kind of like the LeBron thing, where it's like it's not his fault. His team is losing. But then I can't go ahead and I say the same thing about other guys that were like Giannis that was, taking his team far, but they was losing. He's putting up numbers. So right now, man, forget all that. I'm going with Luka. I'm going with Luka. But much respect to Steph Curry. There's much respect to Steph Curry. I just think right now the things I'm seeing Luka do, once he's able to have a real team around him, I think he's going to win those 4 chips, kind of like LeBron, how LeBron won his 3, like in the span of, 7 years. Luka's going to win once he gets a real team around him. But the stuff we're seeing Luka do right now, it's almost it's laughable. Being your team's best scorer and playmaker. Yes, he has some faults in his game. It's a lot of greats that do. But I think Luka is so special where, like Ray said, the floor of Luka. Luka is not playing his best game, but somehow is about to have a 30-point triple-double and lead his team back from almost down 20. And as much respect to Steph Curry, he shut a lot of people up by beating the Celtics this year and winning that championship. He'll continue to do that before he retires.
Y'all didn't give it a lot of good. Chris, I'll let you finish.
No, I'm finished.
Y'all didn't give it a lot of attention when I sent it in the group chat. But that Steph run was nuts. Like, I don't know if I still have. I think I might have deleted the picture.
Oh yeah, I seen it. When you were like, he beat Jai,
Memphis. He beat Memphis.
Oh yeah,
Dallas,
no. Yes, yeah.
And Boston.
He did. He went on a run. You got hats off. That's what I'm saying. It's hard. It's tough.
And that's why that's one of the reasons why I picked Steph over Luka, because Steph been there. He's seen it. He's done it. You know what I mean?
Won.
And Luka, don't get me wrong, Luka is going to see. I believe he's going to see a championship or 2. But
You would hope with how he's playing. You would hope he.
But I think he's going to have way more trouble just because how the West is loaded. Like you said, you got
Damian Lillard had the same problem. The West is tough.
Yeah,
there's been some great players, and I give Chris Paul a lot of trouble. But that Clippers team was dope. But you played in the West. Like, it's just tough. Mm-hmm. It's just tough. And LeBron is seeing that. For you ain't hearing LeBron going to the playoffs 10 years in a row and no more. That 10 years to the final, or whatever that crazy run he did. They didn't talk. We ain't hearing that no more. All of a sudden, he fighting to get in play-ins. And he's still putting up numbers. So don't tell me it's because his production is down. He's still producing. But the wins ain't there. Because it's different out here. And so, more power to him. We saw Donovan Mitchell get up out of the West. He knew Utah was a sinking ship staying out West. And now he went to a much better situation. He got traded, but Kevin Durant, he got out the West. He went back East. Like, we've seen a couple people transfer conferences. And I ain't saying they're scared. But they transfer conferences. Just to give y'all an update, Dallas is now taking the lead. Luka's now nuts. At 37.
They have no business. One, listen, we about to be a parlay segment. Whoever took the live bet of them coming back and winning, you just won some money. But Dallas has no business winning this game. But to me, Dev touched on it a while ago. The Rockets are our first half team. To me, they're so close from being a very talented ball club. And right now, I don't know if I want to put them above the Magic. But I kind of do, only because the Magic has so many young guys. I feel like they don't know who to choose from. The Rockets right now have enough young pieces to where they know who their core is going to be. Now it's just build around it. I think they're going to be special in the years to come.
But that core also got to take some steps.
They're
becoming better basketball players.
No, and I agree. But I see them taking steps. They have to take more. I'm not saying they're there yet. They've been taking those steps. But
Houston got a problem on their hand. Houston, we do have a problem.
I just think
they're
closer.
Opinion, I think they're gonna have to get rid of 2 of them stuff.
You think so?
I think young backcourts, we're seeing it in Atlanta. It's tough with young gunners.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to get rid of one.
Clay was a unique.
I think they get rid of Porter. I think Green. You draft Green. I think he's your guy. I think when you draft a guy, even though don't get me wrong, Porter's the truth. I've been a Kevin Porter Jr. fan since he was in USC. He's the truth. But I think when you would hope when you draft a guy that high, he's the one you want to build your franchise around.
I think it's going to come down to money. I think they want to build around both, but if they both want maxes, you can't both give them maxes. And I think
Didn't they
that's
come
what
on
the
the same year, right?
No,
Same
Kevin
time?
Porter
Or
was
one
before him.
came like a year before, something
Yeah,
like that.
Kevin Porter was traded a year before.
Okay.
No, do not take
Kevin
this man.
Porter is. I was trying to see what year he was.
He was
He's only
drafted about 2
24.
years before, if I'm not mistaken. He spent some time in the G. He was drafted by the Cavs into the rank. He spent some time in the G League. Then he was traded a year before, I think, or maybe that season or a year before they
Yeah, he
drafted
was
Jalen.
traded by He got drafted by Cleveland 2019, 2020. And then he's been in Houston the last 3 years, slowly accumulating. And then for
So yeah, I see Porter leaving. I see Porter leaving first. I think they're going. I can see them
Man,
getting rid of Porter.
Minnesota is about to beat the Nuggets right now. Without a, that's crazy.
Until it
Come on,
happens.
But the
Jokic.
Nuggets, they kind of up and down a little.
And I need Jokic with one
They're
more
the best
play.
team in the West right now.
Yeah, that's the crazy part because one minute
I don't
Denver,
have them, winning, but yeah, that's where we are. And again, let me try and get a few more things. We still got some decent time, but we're on basketball, so let's stay with basketball. Actually, we kind of covered a lot of it. We talked about the Wizards being back in the playoff race. Luka going for 50, Donovan going for 70, which is nuts. And Knicks Suns, we kind of talked about that too. And Kenny's not here for me to really talk my trash the way I would like in either capacity. So we can jump back. Actually, we do got to jump back to football. Shout out to the Ravens. You are in the playoffs. Shout out to the Giants. You are in the playoffs. Yeah, I did not have the Giants in the playoffs to start the year. Did we pick our playoff teams? We did. We can no, we didn't pick playoff teams.
No, we
picked
didn't.
championships. And we picked division winners.
No, we picked division winners, and I think we picked the.
Damn, we didn't pick who making the playoffs. Well, I guess we can get back to it because we jumped off a little bit. For the AFC, we got the AFC South. Tennessee plays Jacksonville. Winner take all. Y'all know how I feel about Jacksonville. They're one of the more frustrating teams to try and pick, but they've been rolling. And I wish my app would work. ESPN is some trash right now, but they are rolling. And I've never really been a fan of sitting your players. And the Titans just did that because the game didn't matter. And I think that's going to hurt. I think that they are going to suffer because of it. I think the Jaguars looked really good versus a really bad team. When Dallas couldn't do to Houston, Jacksonville did. And I think that momentum will carry them. And I think they win the AFC South. Chris, who you got?
I have Jacksonville. I think they've been on a little, I want to say run or streak, but they've been on a little consistency streak, I'll say. I remember, Ray, you talked about them, not knowing where to go with them, not being as consistent as you thought they would be. I thought, what they've been doing the past couple of weeks, the smacking they put down on the Texans, I think their confidence is through the roof. And I think they're going to go and they're going to beat Tennessee, especially without Tannehill is still out, right? Tannehill's done.
Yeah, he's done.
I'm not tripping, right? Yeah, I know I wasn't tripping. Yeah, without Tannehill, without
and they
consistent
saved
offense,
Willis for this game.
And listen, as much as I love Derrick Henry,
I think they're going to start Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, as
I was
much
about
as
to
I
say
love
Josh
Henry,
Dobbs showed up, but I don't.
Yeah, give me
that's a lot of
Jacksonville all
pressure.
the way. It's not even nothing to think about. Give me Jacksonville.
And I'm just a quick kind of synopsis of the run they've been on. They did lose to the Broncos, but then they beat the Raiders.
But that's the
beat the
inconsistency
Ravens.
we was talking about.
They got blown out by the Lions, but then they can't turn right around and beat the Titans, beat the Cowboys, beat the Jets, and beat the Texans. So they've won 4 in a row. They got a home game, a chance to have a home playoff game. So they would be hosting potentially. I'm trying to look at the playoff picture. They would be hosting potentially either Baltimore or they would be the 4 seed. So they look like they'd be playing the Chargers, but it'd be at home and it'd be good weather for both teams. So wouldn't much matter. So that would be interesting. I really like to see that.
That'd be a good game.
I got the
That'd be a
Chargers
good
in
game.
the Super Bowl, so I don't know if I love that, but we'll see. We'll see how that works. But there is one other position out there. The Patriots, Dolphins, and Steelers are all competing for the final playoff spot. Just to give you guys a quick update, New England plays Buffalo at Buffalo. Not ideal. I don't
And
know
they
if
got the
Tua's going to be
Jets.
back. Have they said
Nope, he
anything
not.
about that?
No, they going with Teddy Two Gloves and what's this dude? Skylar Thompson, the dude that finished. One of them is going to be the starter.
So I don't like that. The Jets are coming to town, and they just lost. The Dolphins obviously just lost to the Patriots. They've lost to the Packers. They've lost to the Bills. They've lost five in a row. Not finishing very well. So the momentum's not there. I don't love that. And finally, Pittsburgh. I would love to hear what Dev has to say about that. But they finish up hosting Cleveland, who just beat the Commanders. So, Dev, who you got?
Everybody bleep this out, man. It's gonna be, I can't say this word, but the team that beat us last night will be the 7th team in the playoffs. I hate to say it. It burns my soul. Like, I got this aching feeling all down my right side right now just for me saying that, man. I can't believe I said it, but real recognize real. Mike Tomlin is one of the best head coaches in
The winning
NFL.
season streak is still alive.
Still alive. This guy, I don't know if y'all heard what they said, but the Steelers was the only NFL team that practiced in full pads on Friday. The only NFL team. That lets you know that they about their business. They ain't care who they going up against. They don't care how 2 weeks ago how we beat them up in Pittsburgh. None of that. These guys came out there fighting. And it was a couple of notes that I seen from the Ravens camp, boy, and it's not looking good. John Harbaugh is upset that Gus Edwards' carries was diminished. He started hearing the questions about when is Lamar coming back. Greg Roman, once again, you set us up for failure, my man. I don't understand how did you do it, but anyway, Steelers. I think they are going to be the 7th team. The Dolphins, I think they shot themselves by going 0-4 in December. You can't go 0-4 in December and expect to make the playoffs. And then you start the year off 0-1. They couldn't handle business. They can't beat a New England team that's pretty basic. Their game plan was just basic. It would just make sure that you protect Mac Jones and run the ball when we can. And that's all the Patriots did. They ain't do nothing flashy. They ain't do nothing spectacular. Miami's having quarterback trouble. Tua is done for the year, in my opinion. The Jets don't have an their quarterback player just like the Dolphins. So they just gonna grab a guy off the street, shoot him up, and hopefully they can beat the Dolphins. New England, they play the Bills. Now that the Bills game has been canceled, postponed, they most definitely gonna have something to play for come next week now. Because now it's pretty much like they got another bye week almost.
Just some, breaking news because we're in journalism. I don't know if you guys saw at about, it looks like 9:30 maybe Eastern, before obviously there was a lot more going on. Skip Bayless had tweeted, "No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game. But how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant." I know we talked about kind of the Shannon Sharp incident and maybe Skip's insensitivity. I was more so on Skip's side in that, to be honest. But I would like you guys' takes on that tweet, given what we've been going through for the last since we've been on air, really.
Can you read it again for me?
No doubt, and so you guys can see. No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game. But how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant.
I'll say this. I'll say this. I was wondering the same thing, right? I was wondering it, though. That's not something you put out there. Yes, we all sit up here and wonder as football fans, dang, what are they going to do with this? This was a huge game, like we just talked about. But we didn't never question that the game was more important than the player's health. We weren't all upset because disappointed and angry that they decided to postpone this game. We understand the magnitude. We understood why they postponed the game. It wasn't an issue. We talked about, yes, this is an important game. But them, postponing this game, nobody had a problem with it because we saw one of the most horrifying injuries or freak accidents, freak anything that ever happened on the football field. So for him to put that out there, to me, is just insensitive.
And just for clarity, what is that? I can't read it.
Skip is a butthole. That's what he is.
Let me just be clear. Social media is killing him. Like Kendrick Perkins, Jalen Mills, Darrell Revis, Isaiah Thomas. A lot of people are very upset. Des Bryant has used some profanities toward him. A lot of people call him Skip's job. I
ain't calling for a job.
I think that's Chris, and this is a completely different conversation. That be the thing, though. You're right. You thought it. You're right. You shouldn't tweet it. But we all was thinking and wondering the same thing. Like, I think the only thing, the biggest issue I have is the but how. Like, that to me is real. You can't do that. You know how. Somebody might have died. Like, that's how. That part to me is where he really loses me. The late in the season, we talked about it. What are they going to do? This is a huge game. So, and I'm not about to give him no pass because he's a journalist. Like, you know how to talk and speak. He
knows better.
He has since apologized. Let me be clear. Nothing is more important than that young man's health. You're a journalist. Use his name. We all know his name at this point. Not that young man. I don't like that. That was the point of my last tweet. I'm sorry if that was misunderstood, but his health is all that matters. Again, everything else is irrelevant. I prayed for him and will continue to. He might gotta sit down for a little bit. He didn't I don't like it. And I'm a Skip fan. But I don't like it. I don't I don't know.
I swear. Skip, he's most definitely not one of my favorite people. Don't get me wrong.
They've been having a hard time, these talking heads, man. And this world, it's tough. Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith had to kick Max off his show because Max kept cooking him. Like,
I look at Shannon. I love what Shannon is doing off FS1.
Yeah, he creating his own lane now.
He has that lane.
Yeah, I like that lane that Uncle Shay is in. Don't get me wrong.
I was waiting for Stephen A to do something like that, but he kept doing his with ESPN, so it's too late for Stephen A to try to make his lane like that. But Shannon's club Shay, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if he kicks FS1 up to the curb.
I wouldn't be at all.
I think that's a mistake. That's just my 2 cents.
No, I'm not saying he should, but if a couple years go by and he doesn't like what's going on, or his platform keeps building.
Didn't him and Skip just sign the contract not too long ago?
Let's put this in perspective.
Skip Bayless is friend with Jerry Jones. Can you put that up there real quick?
Yeah.
We were supposed to.
No, I guess we shouldn't be. I'm not going to be that guy. I've seen Skip come to bat in some crazy situations.
Yeah. I was about to say, listen, Skip isn't I
He
don't
ain't
think
that.
he's not that. But was
He's
this
still a butthole.
insensitive?
He's still a
No,
butthole.
it's flagrant. He wrong. He wrong as heck tonight. He
all the
gotta
way wrong.
he need tomorrow. I'm sure the ratings are gonna be through the roof because people are gonna be waiting for a response. So I'm not
Now,
saying he did it for
now,
that
do I
reason.
feel like he'll on air give a apology that sounds really sincere, and will he actually might be sincere? Wouldn't be surprised. But I feel as though a guy that's been in the game this long, and I don't want to hear I'm just getting used to social media. Well, you tweet every day and you tweet crazy stuff all day, so that better not be an excuse anybody has. He knows
And he
right from
can't say
wrong.
that because he's been killing people for not pushing sin. So you can't
Exactly.
get up there and say it was an accident. What you can
Exactly.
say, and he kind of said that in his thing. I didn't communicate it properly. And I think he was trying to communicate what we communicated, like this is a huge game with huge ramifications. We've seen people get hurt and ambulanced off the field and they keep playing. Like that's
Exactly.
normal.
So that's why.
So
That's where I
none
don't
of
think
that is wrong, but
it's
the
just how he worded
why is tasteless. And not
that.
using
The
his
ending
name
part was real bad.
is also tasteless. That's a man with a family. Use his name.
Now, if he
Like,
would have put a tweet out saying, "Man, I wonder how the NFL," if he just said, if he just said, "I wonder how the NFL is going to, postpone this game with huge ramifications." If he just said something like that, I don't think it would have been as bad. But the fact that he didn't acknowledge the injury, or the fact that he made it seem like it wasn't that big of a deal, is what's going to hurt him.
yeah.
I think that he should have said it. Number one, don't get me wrong. We all sat here and was like, "Oh man, they're gonna cancel the game. Oh, what about this? What about that? What's up with this?" But
The first thing we said was we talked about his health.
we talked about harm and health. You know what I mean? We ain't just sit here and be like, "Oh my God, they canceled the game. My parlay is messed up." Oh, I don't. We ain't
That's
go
not
to
important.
that. It's not important. That guy collapsed on the field. And once I seen that, I was like, "Oh, that's going to be hard for anybody to play." You know what I mean? Your eyes just witnessed somebody collapse. You know what I mean? And now you seeing somebody getting CPR. Like, come on. Skip, all thing you had to say was, "Man, I hope the NFL can reschedule this game." That's it. Because I think that's all the NFL is going to do. They're going to play out 18. And then they're gonna come back to the Cincinnati in the Bills game. Hopefully they're gonna, I hope they don't do that year that COVID had took over the NFL, where they kept putting games on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be too good for neither team, because you don't want to put them out there. And then I think the Bills play again on Saturday. So don't put them too close of a week, too close to the days, but you most definitely gonna have to reschedule that game. Because like I said, the game is important a little bit.
Not it's super important.
first seed.
Just for clarity, the Bills play on Sunday at 1, and the Bengals, it's loading slow, but I think they also play on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we play. We got the Bengals, but the Bengals game depending on if they would have won or lost, depending on what time that they play against the Ravens. That's why this was the kind of a touchy game for the Bengals, because I think if the Bengals would have won, they would have played the Ravens at 1:00. But if the Bengals would have lost, they would be playing the Ravens at 4:00. I forgot. It might be switched to the other way around, but it was something like in that nature about this outcome of this game.
Yeah. Definitely something to see. Quick update. The Warriors and Hawks have kicked off. I've been very clear on the Atlanta backcourt. And Damien, I completely disagree with you. I completely disagree. Especially with this banning in this culture we live in. That was
Trump
not
his day one thing back.
he asked, but why? Like, are we and I don't want to be that guy, but come on, man. Like, we live in a world where there's a lot of stuff going on. You should not be fired for that tweet. You shouldn't be kicked off social media for that tweet. You know how much racism and hate is on social media? So that's the standard. Like, we ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. It was wrong. He needs to apologize, and he will. And we move on like we always do. It ain't that deep for me. So yeah, it's just the internet world to me. And those are my opinions of my own. ASAP Network, not subscribe to that. That's me. With that being said, we picked all of that. Yeah, and see, Kenny ain't here again. Kenny, I need Kenny here because Kenny would be the one saying the most flagrant stuff because he been mad disrespectful to Tom Brady. He been mad disrespectful to Tom Brady. All year, he been mad disrespectful. And what I keep telling y'all, do not bet against Tom Brady. And guess who his lovely Cowboys will probably have to play? I can't wait. That team might finally be healthy. And Dallas defense is not looking like it should have been. So I hope we get that matchup.
I ain't even gonna hold it. If that matchup happens, Cowboys lose, I guarantee you, and my Charles Barkley voice, that I am giving hell to any Cowboys fan I come across.
So here's the other question. And I wish Kenny was here for this too. Who's going to win the NFC East?
I'll say this. No Jalen Hurts, no victory. For everybody that was sitting up here talking about this is a system offense and you can put anybody, any quarterback with this team and will be successful. I hope you've been watching us the past 2 weeks. 2 very winnable games.
Hey, Chris.
I look at Dallas and I say, okay, that's a division game. Who knows how that would have went? But against the Saints, the Eagles had no business losing that game. Gardner Minshew quite literally threw the game away. And I'm not even talking about the pick six, but you know, he just stares down his receivers like he is not a starting quarterback, and it showed. It showed, and I don't want to hear, oh well, he's been on the bench, he hasn't played an NFL game in this long. He's our scout quarterback. He's going against the best defense every single week. You're going against the Saints. You have all these weapons, and you can't even get a good drive down the field multiple times. You only put up 10 points on the board. That's disrespectful to all Eagles fans.
So, Chris,
nobody has faith in him.
Do you have insight on Hurts' return? What are they saying?
I got to look into it a bit more. I would hope he returns because we want this first seed. Not even what we need this first seed because if we don't clinch this first seed with all the injuries my Eagles have been getting the past couple of weeks, but definitely these past 2 weeks, we go into round 1 with no bye. You might see the biggest collapse in NFL history. I don't want to be that guy, but I'm a realist. We need this first round bye, and I don't want to rush Jalen Hurts coming back. But if I'm not mistaken, we play the Giants, and I mean, does it matter if the Giants win or lose?
No,
They locked in that fifth.
I mean, are they? I know they're locked in. Are they locked in that spot they're in right now?
Yeah, I don't think they can jump over that.
They're 9-6-1. Everybody else is 8-8. So at best, anybody else would be 9-8, and they would be 9-7-1. So they're going to be the 6th seed. And then Dallas is 12-4.
I don't know if the Giants sit anybody. You know, I would highly doubt that the Giants say, "Hey, we're locked in. We're going to rest."
Brian Dable,
that happening.
He doesn't strike me as that kind of coach. I don't know that. But that doesn't,
especially because it's division and they have a chance to ruin our dreams. I don't see that happening. And I'll say this.
And you just want good momentum.
That's what
I was going to get. That was you still in the words out of my mouth. You don't want to go and rest your team and then have them too rested, especially when you're not the best and the most skilled team. You need all the momentum and everything you can get. So no Jalen Hurts to me.
Week before last, they just lost to the Vikings, which is who they would be matched up with, and they lost at Minnesota by 3. So, not a quick update, but update. DeMar Hamlin is in critical condition, but he's alive. Is the last report that I got. So I think that. So I guess that if that is the case, let's revisit it. If it was reported, and that was reported about an hour ago. If that is the report, why didn't they finish the game? If we knew he was alive but critical, why don't we finish the game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, why?
That's a tough question.
It is a tough
Honestly,
question.
because I guess you don't want to, like I was trying to allude to earlier, it's like playing with, with a heavy emotion and you overthinking, what I mean, it could lead to more injuries. That's the only thing I can kind of get out of it. I guess you want to keep the safety of the rest of the players, I guess. But like y'all alluded to before, we didn't see injuries like this. People get carted off and they still play. So it
We
has to
watched
be a
Tua
little.
drop just a couple weeks ago.
Shoot, what was the dude from the
Now it was a
Steelers?
little different.
What was the dude from the Steelers, the linebacker? Shazier. When he was paralyzed, was
Yeah,
back in,
that game finished.
you know, that game finished. So I just think it. I'm gonna put it like this. I think it's because the NFL is trying to get this health protocol situated with the concussions. Um, they're trying to get the safety of the players right. And I was listening to what podcast I was listening to. Dang, I listened to so many podcasts this morning. But it was this one podcast. They was talking about like the health and safety of the conditions of the players, and that's going to be the main topic going into the summer this year, all because of Tua. Tua. They felt like Tua should have been playing in a lot of games, and they trying to find a way that players can um, pretty much they can tell, let them know like, nah, coach, I'm not good this week. I can't play, and start trying to make them force them to play. So it's I think it's the health protocol that's really getting in the NFL way. They ain't know which way to go, so they postpone the game.
So I have a follow up to you. He's in critical condition. What happens if tomorrow afternoon, God forbid, a bad message comes out? What do you do then?
Honestly, I don't know, man. It's just like
And let
because
me be
this.
clear. I've never been at work and watched somebody die. But actually, I can't even say that because he did not die. Thank God. Thank God. But I've been at work where one day I had a supervisor, a co-supervisor, was at work. We was in a meeting together. And the next day, she had died. They said, let us know if you want to talk about it. But go to work. And I don't make a bunch of money. I ain't on TV. I ain't got no sponsorships, no ads, nothing like that. If they knew when they put him in that ambulance, he was alive. I get waiting until you get to the hospital, but I don't completely understand the postponing. And Zay, I know what you're saying, but Brett Favre's dad died. He
I
played.
don't think it's that. I don't think it's that. Jay. I just think. I think it was the league that said we got too much on our plate with these safety and health protocols. Shut the game down and let's come up with a better game plan. That's just my opinion. What I mean,
Yeah.
I can't see no other way of, them just shut the game down. Because like I said, football is it's a contact sport. What I mean, the body ain't made to play football, to be playing football. So, yeah, that's my only reason I can just see, honestly.
Chris, your thoughts?
I think the NFL partially, wants to be as careful. Wouldn't be surprised if the players said, "Listen, we don't want to play." But how long can they say that? I don't know. Do you see the league saying draw? Or do you think this game has to get played out?
Nah, they gotta play
I
this
think they're
out.
gonna play it out. I just think they're gonna have to collect themselves, get them mentally stable, I guess, and then try to find the right schedule before the playoffs kick in.
Because this,
Uh,
like,
You
go ahead, Robert.
just don't want to give Kansas City like, all right, since y'all the only ones that finish out the week, we're just gonna give y'all the number one seed. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be too fair to anybody because Buffalo or Cincinnati had this planned out. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
um, I think they gotta play it eventually. It's just I hope that they don't try to jam it in the middle of the week and then have these guys come back out
Play game on Sunday.
on Sunday again.
We got an unpopular opinion coming. We look forward to hearing it. I'll post it as soon as it's put up. But that's just, man. I don't want to. You never want to sound insensitive or hurtful because, like, I get it, but we see people get hurt a lot, and they keep playing. So once they knew he was okay, I just feel like it would have been easier just to get this game over with, and now they can just focus on him. The
See,
players,
with
because
this
now
though, what if they didn't have an update and what if the update was, like it's just all nothing good? What if they were keep getting no good updates or no updates to
but
the
I
point
wouldn't
where it's
give the.
like,
I think for me, it's one
Mhm.
update. He's alive. We're
okay,
taking him to the hospital, and we will give you all an update when we know something. Once I know he's alive, I think I can go play. Like, it's tough, but I've seen tough injuries. Once I know he's good, like he's alive, critical is not good, but he's alive and breathing or whatever the situation was. As a player, it's like we're gonna be waiting all night for updates. Then we got to get up and now go try and get ready to play this game again. With this still going to be hanging over the heads to a certain extent. And like I said, and if it go bad, then what? And Dark, he has and Damien said that they have made sure that the game is tomorrow. The NFL ignored players for years, and now they try to spin the narrative to meet their needs. They are money hungry and power hungry. Watch them try to claim they had zero idea this would happen and still not pay for health insurance or do anything to make the game safer. I blame this partly on them because to the NFL, money is all that matters. And if I get hated for that, so be it. I think is what he's saying. I am not PC and can care less or make people cry with that. I don't disagree. I think it's clear they don't care about players.
Yeah, we all the owners don't believe. We all said this couple shows ago. The owners is about that money. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But
Go ahead.
Like I said, I just think the NFL they had to take a pause. You just had to because God forbid that this man I forgot his name that quick. What's his name again, Bray? Play that got hurt.
Hamlin. I forget his first name. I want to make sure I get it right.
But
his last
Hamlin
name was Damar Hamlin.
Damar Hamlin. Just imagine that he, God forbid that he passed away on that day. Do you know that family would have been suing that NFL or that organization, however, the legals go. The NFL didn't want that. Do you know what I mean? As bad as the NFL wanted to keep this game going, that I'm pretty sure a lawyer got on there and was like, hold on, let's see how far Hamlin can make it first before we can make any announcements or anything in that nature. Let's play it safe and we'll come back to this game. I think that's what the NFL, was thinking, in my opinion. Of course, they want that money. Of course, they was trying to figure out, can we still push this game? Should we still push this game? But I just think that the lawyers and money got into this situation.
But how, like, man, like I said, I hate being this guy. And I'm defending the NFL, and I really don't rock with them a lot. What were they supposed to do? Like, I could see if it was one of those crazy plays. We've seen some nasty hits.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
This wasn't that. Like, he got back up at one point.
Yeah,
and then
but
he fell out. So if I'm the NFL legally, like, how y'all holding me liable? Like, we did everything we could. He made the tackle. He just got hit in the chest, and something happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's a heart. I don't know if it's a lung, because they said they were trying to give him oxygen. That part I have no idea about. But I just don't understand. Once he's alive and he's on the way to get treatment, like, what are we doing?
Or maybe another theory. I'm just swinging out here. You know how certain players, they got to get physicals and checkups before they can play and stuff like that. Maybe he slipped underneath the radar.
We saw that. What trade was that? Was that Karis LeVert or somebody that got traded and they ended up saving his life because he had cancer or something?
It was LeVert.
It was LeVert. But that, that's in the NBA. NBA, they all about their players. You know what I mean? The players run that league versus at the NFL. We all know the owners.
Unless you say something about China. Hey, Daryl Morey, they said, you better shut up. LeBron James, you better start dribbling. Shut up. Big money over there in China. Now, when the Fox News host told you shut up and dribble, we let that slide. But hey, you leave China alone now.
LeBron, he turned that to a slogan, didn't he? Like a TV show or something like that.
But he ain't say that when they told him to leave China alone. He knew better.
Of course.
But no, it's clear. I agree. It's more so a players' league. I will be very curious to see what the commentary is tomorrow. On social media, Skip is getting a beating. DJ Academics reported that he did have a pulse on the field. They killed him for reporting that. Basically, if you're not saying they should have canceled the game and his life is the only thing that mattered, which obviously is important, they're killing you. I think it's a little more nuanced than that. I don't know that this makes life easier for the Bills players to have to try and get up for this game again when you were already there dressed. I just think they should have just let him finish playing once they knew he was alive. At that point, let us play, and now we can go to the hospital all night, whatever we got to do, because we ain't got to worry about another game tomorrow. I just think that would have made life.
Or maybe the Bills just took it as a collective team and said, nah, his health is more important than us finishing this game.
If they did that as a team, I fully support that. I'm just telling you how I operate. When I got something hanging over my head, I hate that. I just rather get it out the way, and then I can move on to whatever the next thing is. In this situation, he should be their focus. But right now, I don't know that you can fully devote your time to him because you do have a huge game tomorrow. Like, that still exists now. So I just don't know how much they're helping the players by having them have to play, and we don't have no resolution. Right. So obviously, I will be praying through the night as far as make sure everything turns positive. But this is a lot. In other news, and this is not a great segue, so I apologize for anybody that might be offended, but Gervante Davis had quite the week in this last couple days. A woman came out and said that he abused her and his child. She called the police. I don't know if you've heard the audio, but there is audio where she's saying basically she's in fear of her life. She's scared, like just losing it. Shortly thereafter, Gervante Davis began to post from his story, showing poop on his toothbrush, showing that his shirt appeared to have been ripped, glass apparently had been broken. And the day after that, the young lady came out, and actually we can put her, she might be a little harder to find, but we'll put her on TV too now, because as the great Joe Budden said, put a name on that bullet. I'm trying to figure out how to pull it up, but I'll keep kind of talking through it. Needless to say, she came out and basically said, I was lying. He didn't do nothing. And the fight is still scheduled to take place this Saturday. My question for you guys, and because we're a sports podcast, I'll stay away from the how do we feel about women who lie, because we're late in the show and that's not necessarily where we want to go. But if y'all want to go there, I will certainly go there. But for the sake of sports, what impact do you think this has on the fight this Saturday? Chris, we'll start with you.
If anything, Tank will have more fuel. I don't think this is really going to hinder him and be on his mind and hurt him. anything, this is gonna give him more fuel to go for that knockout, go for that victory. Like you said, we're gonna stick on the sports side. She came out and she said it wasn't true. So he has nothing to worry about. He just frustrated the whole situation, went down. And so now I think he takes his frustrations out on the 7th and gets a victory.
Oh, and just for update, Chris, Donovan Mitchell had 71. So he eclipsed Booker.
Oh no, I thought Booker had 73.
Nah, Booker had
Nah,
70.
Booker has 70. 71 now. 71 is the most points since Kobe 81.
But you know what's crazy? Listen to this fact. We had 3 70-point games in the past 25 years. All from shooting guards, all picked with the number 13 pick.
Fun fact.
In that same vein, did y'all hear that story about Kyrie Irving and the number 11?
Yeah. I posted in the group chat.
I might try and find that and play it. Because that was nuts.
I got it.
That's kind of eerie. What you just said kind of prompted that, Chris, because there be some number stuff that be happening. And I ain't going to get into Andrew Tate and any of the other stuff, but there be some stuff that be going on in this world that you'd be a fool not to look twice. I would say.
They said the reasons Kyrie wears number 11 are insane. Born at 111. I don't know if it's AM or PM, but he was born at 111. His father wore number 11 in college. Kyrie Irving is the 11 letters long. K is the 11th letter in the alphabet. Kyrie played 11 games in Duke. He was drafted number 1 in the first round in 2011. He also scored his 11,000th point in March 11th.
That's crazy.
All right. And just for clarity, Gervante Davis' girlfriend's name is Vanessa Poja. So I'm putting the name on that. Y'all can do with it what you want. But the mother of his child called and made that whole thing up on the child's bed. That's not. But I don't know what to say. We got another trial for DUI hit and run. He had this seemingly will go away. We've seen upsets. I think he's by far the more talented person. He has since said, and like after the show came out, he wasn't even trying to fight. Could have been emotions of the moment, but that ain't what I want to hear a week before a fight. So I'm rooting for him. I think he will figure it out, but I do think it's problematic, and I would not be surprised if we get either he comes out early to try and get it over with, or he has a tough time getting going. I'm hoping neither of those happen because you can punch yourself out, you can get caught, as Rolly knows all too well. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Deb, your thoughts? I think we lost.
First of all, we're gonna go ahead to the drama side just a little. This is stuff. I hate when females do stuff like that. I just think that if a person is not really putting your life in the thing, shouldn't play like that. Shouldn't cry wolf like that. Because when you cry wolf, nobody's gonna believe you if it really happens to you. You know what I mean? And then why I hate when a female or a person that's not in the celebrity stature, let me say, always trying to find a way to try to take somebody down. Now, when Gervante was in there harming you and stuff like that, yes, please, by all means, call the police, protect yourself, protect your child. By all means, I'm never going to say don't just because he's a top premier boxer that you shouldn't speak up. You know what I mean? If you gotta speak up, you gotta speak up. But now, when you just throwing out false accusations and you throwing bad. Now I don't know if it's a promotion thing. I don't know if they was people trying to turn against him or whatever her demeanor was about this whole situation. Man, you just don't do that. I hate when people put their relationship out in the public eye. You know what I mean? I understand that he is a public figure and he's going to be noticed anywhere he goes. You know, ever since he became this top boxer. But for you to sit here and try to say, "Oh, he harmed me and the kid," that's a low blow. Now that's a serious low blow, man.
As a dad, that's
yeah,
that's
that
that's
hurts.
low.
That hurt. When I seen that she put that out, I was hurt. I said, "Oh, not Tank." You know what I mean? Not him. Come on, man. You know what I mean? I don't condone violence when it comes to domestic stuff like that. And then when it comes to the kids, please, you know what I mean? Don't put your kids in harm's way. But then, when he comes out and put his story, like, oh, she did this, and this happened. Then now she's like, oh, never mind, psych, he didn't do that. It was just a misunderstanding. I was like, no, you shouldn't have did that in the first place. You know what I mean? Like I said, if he was really harming you, yes, go ahead, tell the world. Tell the police first, but tell the world. But if you knew you was lying the whole entire time, you ain't doing nothing but making yourself look bad at the end. And that it sucks for both parties. Hopefully they can clear this up. Hopefully they can be a happy family. If not, separate. Go different ways, man, and make sure that the kid has a great life. But to the boxing. Y'all already know who I'm rooting for. 4-1 stand up as always. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm gonna go ahead and get my guesstimation out already. I'm going with the third,
Okay.
but I'm gonna go ahead and do it now. It's gonna be a 6-round knockout. It's a 6-round knockout. There you
Got
go.
him out of there.
He's gonna get him out of there. He's gonna get all his frustration. He's gonna get it out early because this is not the main fight that he wants of the year. The one he wants is just a couple of months away. This ain't nothing but just a tune up to make sure you get some kinks out, get the dust off the gloves, all that. Because I'm not saying sleep on this opponent. I'm not saying that. And if any boxer that can step in the ring, you cannot sleep on your opponent. But we all know that this not the opponent Gervante really wants. You know what I mean? So he's going to try to get him out of there early so he don't take too many punches, too many beats. Because I don't know if y'all seen Gervante's spawn. I got a nice little shine underneath that eye. Somebody's been landing gloves on him. So I'm pretty sure he don't want that to happen to him in the real match. So he's going to put this guy out 6 rounds. 6-round knockout. I'm going to go ahead and say it now. He's going to get it done. He's going to move on to Ryan Garcia, the second fight we all been waiting for. But we still waiting on Crawford and
Spence.
yeah, Crawford and Spence fight. We that's the fight that we all want right there. But Gervante gonna get it done. You know what I mean? I will be front row on my TV, popcorn, juice, and all that ready. Because I believe that Baltimore is gonna be making some noise at this time.
I agree. I don't know if I'm going 6 rounds. I just don't know how he's going to come out. I think he's clearly the better fighter. And I don't know. I'm getting a lot of feedback. I don't know if that's near you. Hold on. Let me try something. Yeah, I muted you and it stopped. So I don't know. It might be some connection on your end. Like a lot of static, like a video game or something. But we almost out of here anyway. So I got Davis, and actually I'm not giving my prediction. I will give you all that on Thursday when I'm pretty sure I'm here. All right, whatever you did, you just fixed it. Thursday, I don't think I got nothing on Thursday, so we should be here on Thursday. We'll give you our final season picks. Yeah, and it's wintertime, so nobody should be mowing the lawn. But yeah, we'll get to the fight picks for me on Thursday. Plus, we'll get hopefully everybody else. I know Kenny won't be with us, but if we might can get Chris, we'll do that. And man, what a night! What a night! Definitely going to keep I guess Mr. Hamlin is maybe a professional way to say it. In our prayers, I could not imagine that being my son, or I don't know if he has a significant other or children. I know he was doing a toy drive, and apparently he had a $2,000 goal, and they're up to like $100,000 in an hour. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to the people that are donating. Granted, I don't know if this necessarily going to go to him, but that's good. Kids, people will be blessed and benefited, and that Buffalo community is A1. Like Bills Mafia, they take care of their people. So much respect to them. As somebody who worked for a company that was reporting to Buffalo, I'm sure a lot of the people I used to work with are kind of uneasy. That's just, we talked about markets. That's probably a small to medium market, but that is a rabid fan base. And a lot of the small markets have those. So definitely prayers up to him, the team, everyone involved, praying that the doctors that are operating or whatever they're doing, that they know what they're doing, that they execute effectively and efficiently. Hopefully he's getting the best care that they have, and that in a week from now, we'll get, the good news sooner rather than later. But given the circumstances, I think it might be a little bit before we get an update of substantial importance, but hoping for or praying for something sooner. Did you have anything for the people before we get up out of here? Oh, you still muted.
Yeah, I'm still dealing with this problem, so yeah. I don't want to sound like a lawnmower, so
yeah. Man, you got that auto tune on over there, so we're gonna let you and your auto tune album go ahead and rock out. Appreciate y'all for staying with us. I know this was kind of an awkward, uneasy show. We will be back on Thursday at 9, hopefully with updates between now and then. Definitely stay tuned to ASAP in the morning and other shows that we will have, where I'm sure we will be covering this situation, the Skip Bayless tweets and others. So lock in, tap in, and y'all have a blessing. Y'all have a blast. Happy New Year to everyone. And 2023 off to a blazing start. Take care.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports